It starts showing a long list of the places where it claims that we're connected to, and places that we may not be connected to. You might have seen Siobhan appear and disappear because this is all kind of new. Uh, Hi, Sim.
Yes.
How on earth are
Hi.
you?
Yeah, good. Technology is great when it works, but absolutely shocking
Yeah.
when it doesn't work. And 90% of the time, I find it actually doesn't work. And
So I'm going to sit here just imagining that we're going out live to all the
yeah,
places that it says we're going live to, like X, like the Tube of You, like
yeah,
Substack, like dare I say it, Facebook, where we failed so beautifully last time,
it
um,
was funny.
and Twitch. Now Twitch seems to be a reliable place. Um,
Absolutely.
so welcome to both of our viewers from all these places, and really put some clothes on, guys. I got dressed. So,
I
special
got
bit of news, right? I said I was going to have a shower. Hello, Chiffon. You back? Oh, we can't hear you
I
now.
can't hear you.
Uh, um, so anyway, I was going to have a shower um, before the show, and Ella uttered the famous words, "But you don't look smelly," which I thought was hilarious. I mean, to be fair, I did look smelly. Um, so
What does smelly look like?
Yeah.
pretty much like me, Siobhan. You know, I do rock a smelly rancid look. So how have you two arrived with me today? I mean, obviously there's the stress of technology.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm hoping you can hear me okay.
we can hear you. You are loud and clear,
Yeah.
Siobhan.
Hooray!
Through the magic of God knows what.
Yeah,
Probably prayer. Yeah.
yeah.
So, are you feeling kind of relieved, or
About what are they?
you're
Yeah,
here? I
okay.
mean, yes. Listen, small mercies, I think, is what we're
Yeah,
looking for here.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so Sim, what's your story? Are you delighted to be on this nth ever episode?
Yep. I'm just checking, making
Don't
sure that
check. Don't check. Don't
everything.
stop checking. No, no. The time for checking is gone.
Okay,
Put
fair
that.
enough.
Put those times behind us.
Okay.
If it's just the three of us talking, then I love you
Yep.
both dearly.
Perfect.
So we're,
No,
we're, we're, we're fine in this little group. So
amazing.
right after that garbled yet incredibly professional. I like to think of it. Imagine us as people just sitting in the corner of your living room, and we're all just having a coffee together. And this week we're talking about the ugly law. Look at that. Look at the technology. Look at that technology,
Oh,
Yeah.
guys.
those are
Yeah, yeah,
fascinating.
that's good. So,
Yeah.
there's even a
Love that.
link that people can press on that has now
Amazing.
gone, but I'll even
Yep.
put it up again because I'm so proud of it. You can press the link and behold the ugly law. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to stay watching us and look at our links. You can tell us somewhere, maybe. So, do you want me just to dive in and say why on earth I'm talking about the ugly laws?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think, no, in the United States until from sort of the mid 19th century right up to 1970 odd, in America they had this lovely law, which later became known as the Ugly Laws, which basically said people who were deemed to be unsightly to others weren't allowed out in public. Now, these people who are deemed unsightly to others were people like me, like you, people who are homeless, people with disabilities, people with facial disfigurements, people who were in any way deemed to be unattractive to the world weren't allowed to go out to play. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about them tonight is because I think we are kind of nudging towards something very similar with different laws coming in with lack of accessibility in all walks of life that I think, we're not calling them the ugly laws, but people are becoming less able to participate in life. And so, they're being sort of forced into a situation where they're stuck at home. So, um, now, what we're going to try and do, and we failed to do this last time because we're brilliant, is if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask us, you can write them down in any of the places where I hope you're lurking, and say and comment on what you think of the ugly laws and if you think I'm talking a crock of shit. But obviously I'm a genius and I'm not. So. The ugly laws. Now, accessibility. Uh, do you guys have any comments on what I've rambled so far?
Um, I guess there's been so much recently, isn't there, about I mean, you sent a whole load of stuff earlier, all these different kind of articles and things, and I think one of the ones that really struck me was um, the guy that lived in that flat with obviously the broken lift.
Yeah, yeah.
That just absolutely blew my
Hey,
mind.
look at
That
that.
blows my mind.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that
so do you want to tell our dear listeners, viewer people, what happened?
put the link up again.
Yeah, here's the
Just
link.
because I
Sorry.
liked it so much. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. So yeah, basically this guy, so he was basically spent the night in hospital, because the lifts in his council flat were broken down, so you can actually access his own flat.
so this is the ugly laws kind of saying you can't even go into your own house. So the interesting thing was this poor guy had gone out for dialysis to the hospital, and they'd then gone. He got home, and his lift didn't work.
Yeah.
So absolutely nuts.
Yeah, had to go back to hospital and spend the night there, and then and these were lifts that were supposed to be top of the range. They cost a lot of money. They were chosen for their robustness,
Yeah.
but seemingly just kept breaking.
Not quite that robust. Yeah,
No, no.
nice. So it's
But
it's it's weird, isn't it? I mean, the whole thing is weird. I mean, apart from hateful and inaccessible, the whole thing's just odd. So, Sim, did anything of the cascade of stuff that I chucked your way jump out at you?
I, w- I have this saying with my friends, and I think I've said this to you before, Chris, but nothing ever actually shocks me anymore.
No,
So,
fair enough. Yeah.
so, so like that article that Siobhan just mentioned, I want to say I'm surprised, um, but with my own experiences, it's just normal life for people who have to use a wheelchair. I think, and we spoke about this yesterday on the phone, but the man who loses his personal independence payment, which is disability benefits for those in the UK, after he was filmed competing in the sport. And for me, again, it is a story that I've heard multiple times. And unfortunately, I've heard stories of Paralympic athletes have their personal independence payment removed because they have competed in a high level sport. Now, for those who don't know much about Paralympic sports, Paralympic athletes do not get the same sort of funding, sponsorship as Olympic athletes. There is minimal amount of funding, minimal amount of sponsorship, and a lot of Paralympic athletes within wheelchair basketball in the UK have now moved abroad because other countries, European countries mainly, actually pay you a salary to play the sport. So that, for me, that article, obviously, as you know, was close.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it made me sort of look back. You look at Chariots of Fire, and there's this belief that it's honourable to only be an amateur with your sport. Amateur means that you love your sport. And you suddenly realise that the only people doing amateur sports are the people who can afford to do amateur sports. It was the right dead posh people. It's and that kind of is a bit sort of heartbreaking. So there's that. So this poor guy, and the accounts say that it's not like me. When I go out, I pump myself with more painkillers than usual, so I can last for a time to maybe go out and just go to the shops or something, and that means I can get out in the world, and it's just weird that this guy did something similar, and he's lost his money. Hopefully that's being appealed, and hopefully that is going. He's going to get. I don't know. It's going to be sorted out.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about now. I'm going to lean into you tonight, Sim, because I think your experiences are kind of describe the world rather well. And one of the things that we've talked about is curfew and having a care package. So you have a care package which seems to come free with a curfew, or a curfew comes free with your care package. Would you like to talk about that a little?
Curfew. It's yeah. So I have a care package that I've had a care package for the last 3 years now, where I have an incredible, and I genuinely mean this, an incredible care agency that support me twice a day for an hour each time. And then that's every day. And then I have an extra 4 hours an extra 12 hours kind of dotted around
Okay.
the week. And that's to do physio and to do food shop, clean property, and all of that fun stuff. And that's been working really well for the last 3 years since coming out of hospital. I also, at this moment in time, have what they call a grade 4 recovering pressure sore on my left hip.
You make that sound so lovely.
It really is. And that's, again, been an ongoing thing for the last 5 years, roughly, on and off.
Right.
And I, again, and I genuinely mean this, I've got the best kind of community nurses come and support me
Yeah.
with that. and I, yeah, but with all of that amazing care, there are going to be things that I have to cope with. And one of them being that there are certain times when I don't know when, say, the community nurses come. So they come on a Monday and a Thursday, but they could come anytime between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
So it's like eternally waiting for Amazon to deliver
Pretty
something,
much,
isn't it?
yes. Yes.
But you're getting that twice a week.
Twice a week at the moment, yes. Yeah.
So 2 full days a week, you can't go out to play because,
No.
or you don't have the luxury or spontaneity.
No. Which, yeah, and I've become used to that. So for me, I've spoken to a lot of friends who also use a wheelchair, who also have had pressure sores. And when you're so used to that routine of having to wait all day for that visit,
Yeah.
every single day, even if you don't have a district nurse visit, my brain kind of kicks in and says, oh, you have to stay in, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And what I quickly realized is that I've been keeping myself kind of a prisoner,
Right.
because
Right.
yeah. But what is quite ironic about the whole situation, the district nurses don't tell me, like, they don't phone me, they don't say they're on their way, but then they say, oh, you should go out more. Or they say,
Yeah.
oh, you should be doing all of these things, and I'm like, okay, I would love to.
Except on the days that you come because I can't. Yeah.
And the days that you obviously get your kind of care twice a day, like, I'm assuming that they are kind of set times that they come.
Yeah, and the care, I have nothing negative to say about the care agency because they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I have an amazing key worker, part of the care agency, who organises all the kind of schedules. And I know I've got an app where I can see who's coming on what days. I can also read their notes. So
Okay.
there's no kind of handwritten notes anymore. It's all on the app.
So
which I have access to.
everything's upfront and honest.
But yeah,
And,
that's so good, the fact that you know when they're coming. But so
Yeah.
why is that so different to, obviously, you know, the district nurses that are coming twice a week? Why, you know, it's like worlds apart, isn't it? You know, you've got this great app for the care that you're getting, you know, twice a day. You know who's coming, sort of roughly what times and things. Yet you're then kind of bound to the house 2 days a week because you've got to sit and wait and then coming in. Like, why is it so different?
Two different departments. Firstly, care agency is a company, so they can they've got the money to be able to put all of this in place. Secondly, and I did talk to you that, so I had a visit yesterday by the district nurse, and could I get different nurses that have been
yeah.
times? I have no idea who's coming. But this particular district nurse who came yesterday phoned me and said, "Is it okay for me to come now?" And when she arrived, I said, "Thank you so much for actually phoning me and telling me." And I said, "I wish all of the district nurses did the same." And she said, "It's not rocket science." But she said, "It's not a rule, and so all the other district nurses can just decide for themselves
Right, right.
if they want to do it or not." And a lot of people don't because it's more work or.
She sounds great. She sounds like a proper good
Oh, no, she's
yeah,
great. She's in,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
And-
then
Sorry, Siobhan.
I just don't understand. Like, because obviously you know who you're going to see. Like,
You
know,
do.
these nurses are going to know who they're going to see on these days.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's someone different every time, they still have a list of people that they need to go to. So like, why is that not then scheduled so that there's time slots? And I know
So-
things change and things, but like, there has to be some organisation around that.
You would like to think so.
Yeah.
But I think the funding model, I don't think that has anything to do with anything. I was a social worker, and I would tell my office when I was going out, and I'd say what visits I was going on, and sometimes the emergency visits would come up, and I'd still have to tell people, everybody, what was going on. So information was flying everywhere. So if the social work department can do that, and it's a very imperfect beast, why? I wonder if it's just a culture that's kind of grown. It's not the sort of thing we do. And yet they don't realise that they're confining you to your home.
No.
It-
And then they will be very quick to criticise when other organisations do the same.
So I'm going to ask, I assume that there might be some professional dudes watching just now. There might be some watching a recording or one of our shorts, and this will be made into a short or something. Why? Why do you not let people know when you're arriving? Even a rough guesstimate. I mean, even morning or afternoon.
Yeah.
Why? Surely that is something that is not beyond your capability. So, right. So I'm thinking, right, you're confined to base already. So within these limited time slots, Sim, obviously the world is very accessible. So you just go out and the world is your bivalve mollusk, as they might say, absolutely nowhere. That bivalve mollusk is a reference to an oyster, just in case you think I'm completely potty. Thanks for your sympathy, guys. I really appreciate it. So right. So you go out, and so how accessible is the world of Bath to you?
I love Bath, and I do genuinely mean that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
There is a butt coming in.
It's a
There is,
beautiful
isn't there?
city. It's a beautiful city, and it's famous for a lot of different kind of films. A lot of films are kind of a lot of film kind of production crews are
All right.
in and around Bath, and it is a beautiful city. However, a lot of buildings are also listed, and when you have listed buildings, it usually means you can't put a lift in, you can't put a ramp in, you can't put a disabled bathroom in, you can't change anything to do with the structure. And unfortunately, and this goes back to the ugly laws. When do you think the law changed where buildings had to become accessible, as in they had to have a lift or a ramp or a disabled toilet? What year do you think the accessibility law came into place?
I don't think it was that long ago, because I'm just kind of thinking about, new build houses. That obviously there's the law. I don't know when that was, but the new builds had to have wider, obviously, doors, and they had to obviously have a accessible sort of toilet, like sort of downstairs. That like I say, up downstairs
Yeah.
house had to have a sort of downstairs WC and everything, so that it was accessible. And I don't know. I think it was. I don't think it had been that long ago.
I'm gonna have a punt. 1980. That seems to be a good date when
I
nice
think
things
later
started
than
happening.
that.
Do you?
Yeah, I think somewhere in the 2000s, surely.
Oh no,
Okay.
really?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think in the 2000s somewhere. Yeah.
2000 somewhere. Same.
2010,
2010.
There you go.
Yeah, you win today's prize, Siobhan.
just
That's
just before, I, I think early 2010. I don't know exact, yeah, but the law came into place where only new buildings needed to be road accessible, not old buildings. So any buildings before 2010, which is, can I just say, 99.9% of the buildings in Bath.
Do you know, that's disappointingly shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, the law that says you can't alter listed buildings, it's not like it was written by God. It's written by people, and people can change laws, and we have
Was
technology.
there not any disabled people back when they were built?
No, they were to remember the ugly laws. They were kept inside, for God's sake, or,
yeah.
or in poorhouses. Or I know it's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it yeah, it
How does it make you feel, Siobhan? Just thinking about that.
It's just absolutely wild. It's not something that I've ever had to think about. But I mean, certainly in workplaces, that previous workplaces, where I have worked with people who do use wheelchairs, and there's been various times when we went to kind of buildings or whatever, like coffee, like a cafe. It was like a cafe, I think one of them was, but it was just fancy. I don't know, old structure ruin kind of, they sort of adapted. So it was weird,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was no lift or anything, and they're like, oh well, it's a listed building, you can't come in really. Yeah, so it's
It's listed building license to kill. It's just we can do what the hell we like.
like it's just, I mean, when you talk about obviously discrimination, like it's a form of discrimination, really, isn't it?
Completely.
Do you know what I
So
mean? It's
what's accessible to most people isn't accessible to you,
Yeah.
Sim.
pretty much, and you then start to realize why so many people who have to use a wheelchair don't go out, because you're either faced with physical challenges, i.e. steps
Yeah.
and or lack of ramps and lifts, or you get the emotional, mental side of it with the general public and the attitudes of
Oh,
general public.
hold on. You're talking, what, the general public? They're all lovely, aren't they?
Most of them, yes.
What sort of things? I mean, you're talking about people's attitudes. What sort of?
It's the does he take sugar syndrome.
Yes. Yeah.
so tough. Yeah.
and the pat you on the head and say well done just for going out and wheeling down the street.
You're an inspiration. You're a superhuman.
Yeah, that was the thing that always got me about, if I went somewhere with, one of the service users that I was working with,
Yeah.
and they would talk to me as if this person wasn't there, and I would always be like they can hear you, they can speak to you,
Just here.
talk to them, they're right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a wheelchair is a cloak of invisibility. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And we don't realise it. I mean, and everybody does it. And it's funny, you don't really appreciate it until it slaps you in the face. I mean, the lovely Ella broke her leg a couple of years back, and I was pushing her around in a wheelchair, and suddenly she didn't exist. What's her date of birth? It's fucking there. Fucking ask her. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
She has a broken leg.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a lobotomy.
See,
It's yeah.
on that point, Chris, did you notice that when you went to that hospital, the reception desk was at a standing height? Not.
Now, interestingly, this is in Warwick Hospital. I'm going to name names. They had a standing height bit of reception, and then they had the lower wheelchair part of reception. And Ella went up to the lower place bit of reception, and the receptionist says, "Sorry, can't hear you." She said, "Well, okay," but she said, "You're going to have to come over to this one and stand up." She goes, "The reason I'm in a wheelchair is because I can't stand up." But
Oh my god, what the fuck?
good call, Siobhan. Good call.
Yep. I've had those comments.
Yeah.
I've had those comments multiple times.
So, I know that I don't experience it. Do you get kind of blasé to it? It just sort of start, water off a duck's back now.
Just expect it.
Yeah. I expect the worst. And I'm shocked if I get the best.
So,
Do you know what?
yeah.
What the fuck moments
Yeah.
is when things go right. Or when things go well. That's when I say what the fuck.
Yeah. What,
Not
you
when
talking?
things
You're actually talking to me. Yes.
not when things go bad. Or yeah.
Fucking hell. It's desperate, isn't it?
I don't think the ugly laws ever left.
No, I don't.
No,
I think the more you think about it, I mean, you're talking about attitudes, and I've seen it come up on social media a couple of times. And the two that sort of stand out is one person saying we shouldn't have disabled parking after 8 o'clock because disabled people, what are disabled people doing going out after 8 o'clock? And somebody's response was perfect to that. She said, "We're disabled. We're not fucking werewolves," which I thought was
Brilliant response.
yeah. And the other one is going to come to me anytime soon, but we'll talk about something else just now. So, we'll think about accessibility to the general world, and let's think about things that other people do. People go to work, and I'm going to lean into Siobhan's expertise here about access to work. You know about access to work. Can you tell us a bit about how that works?
Well, you can wait up to about a year to even get access to it, first of all.
Okay. So
Because obviously, waiting lists are just ridiculous.
slightly not access to work. So what is it? I mean, What for
So
the
yeah,
uninitiated?
as from what I understand it, it's obviously a government sort of program that you know you get a bit of an assessment, sort of workplace assessment. If you kind of sort of yes, any sort of additional needs that you might have that kind of is a bit of a barrier whilst you're in work. So it's about assessment to kind of uncover if there are any sort of reasonable adjustments, if there's any other additional things, support that can be put in place that allows you to basically do your job while you're in work, whilst you're in employment. To basically try and break some down of these barriers that other people don't necessarily have.
Fantastic. I mean, I mean, that sounds like a really good scheme, doesn't it? So I'm thinking, right, I'm an employer, and you've come to the interview, both of you. You're both fantastic. You've both got the job. Um, so but obviously you need access to work, and so we contact them, and everything's in place immediately, and you can start
So
work
no, so
tomorrow.
I think what if if you're starting a new job, I think they obviously prioritize those.
Sure.
I think if it's like if
Okay.
you're starting a job within 4 weeks, if I remember reading it correctly, if you're starting a job within 4 weeks, they will prioritize those. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really comment on that because obviously
Yeah.
it was already
I,
in.
I can talk about somebody I knew who
Mm.
was in that position, and it took 14 months.
Oh wow.
So the, working alongside them, it felt like we were doing a lap of honor while they were still getting their running shoes on. It was really weird. And the other thing that sort of tied into that was they couldn't get help to apply for access to work. So they had to get somebody to agree to support them for nothing. So they had to get a personal assistant to support them for nothing, in the promise that one day this access to work will come through and they can pay them this. And so this person did the work for nothing, and they applied for them. I mean, what kind of arse about system is that? It just seemed when we've got a government telling us, that we should get to work, we
Yeah,
should
they
be
want
in work.
people in work. Yeah, but you're not providing the support and the kind of giving people the things that they need to be able to enter into a workplace and thrive. It's not doable.
And the other thing, there's no acknowledgement that personal independence payment that we were talking about before is
Mm.
an in-work benefit, that it's work to help people, it's money to help people live. It's
Yeah, that whole kind of yeah.
so now a lot of organisations get the badge of, here we go, guys, hold tight,
Mhm.
being disability confident. Any comments, my lovely people?
Well, first of all, what does that actually mean?
Well, thoughts, Sim?
Who's actually upholding that, whatever that means, and then what is the framework? Who's holding them to that? Because as far as I know, that do organisations have to pay to be have that as a sort of under their
Yeah,
sort
well,
of
like it's some kind of Quango scam. I don't know. I don't know, to be
I don't
honest.
know either. And like again, I guess just who's holding them to that, like who's deciding these organisations are disability competent and what does that actually mean? Yeah.
Okay, back to our Bath correspondent.
I think it's free. I think it's a free scheme, but I
Okay.
don't know who decides. I don't know if it's a committee and who's on the committee. I don't know. There must be a criteria somewhere in on the interweb, but I've no idea where.
Yeah.
And I don't. I know the logo. I can picture the logo,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
But does that make all of us feel really confident? I mean, is it us that are supposed to be confident, that they're disability confident? Does it fill our hearts with joy.
And is that
Oh, okay. So just quick Google, because Google everything, and I need to know these things.
Yeah,
So the Disability Confidence Scheme is a UK government initiative.
nice.
The key word being
So,
government, which says it all.
so the interesting thing I found out was that you can be disability confident without employing anybody with a disability, which,
What?
so as long as you're accessible, like you've got like a lift or a ramp or a disabled toilet or braille or
or somebody who tilts their head
Okay,
with
well,
sensitive.
not according to Mr.
Oh,
Google.
really, really.
Mr. Google AI, I think it is,
Oh,
tells me
no.
um, that this initiative helps employers attract, recruit,
Ah,
retain, and develop disabled people and those with long-term
interesting.
health conditions, creating a more inclusive workforce.
Oh, it makes me want to start singing Kumbaya. What about you?
Hmm.
in
Uh,
the in theory.
in theory. So, right. So I think we've created a scene where people with disabilities aren't encouraged to leave their houses, to work, to do sport, to
Mhm.
do anything. Now, I understand, and I'm not an economist, that there's a link between being on benefits, disability benefits, and poverty. Um, what percent of people with disabilities do you think are in poverty?
Oh, I remember reading this somewhere. I
Uh,
remember it was quite high.
I told you there was going to be a test, and
No, I know.
unbelievable. Yeah.
I didn't. I
90,
know. I didn't do my homework.
95%.
No, no. I
No,
actually thought it was going to be much higher, but
I thought it was quite high. But what was it?
it's 28% of people
Well, I
with a
mean, that's
disability,
28% too much.
which
So
is over a quarter of people with disability are in poverty. So
yeah,
we're talking heating and eating,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So what percentage of families with disabled children are in poverty?
Again, it's probably
Higher, higher,
Higher than
it's a lot.
28%.
It
higher than
has to be. It
28%.
has to be.
Yeah,
40%.
I'd say 70.
43% of people. So
Uh,
so there you are. You're doing your best, knocking your pan out to
mhm.
provide a sort of inclusive upbringing with your
Yeah.
children, and society just doesn't get it.
Mm.
Which kind of slight. I have to admit I am leading the witnesses here, which leads us to unpaid carers. How much do unpaid carers save the country every year? And I'm going to give you a clue.
I think I've heard a clue that. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
That's a lot.
isn't it? We talk about these people being a burden to society, and yet they're making these massive contribution. And
Yeah.
I,
Mhm.
I didn't have the stats, but in front of me, but a massive amount of people who are carers are also disabled themselves. So there's this kind of sort of juggling act
Mhm.
uh, going on. So it's a pickle, guys. Um, so what's to be done? You know what? What's the takeaway for all this, right? So we've got imagine an ideal world.
I think for me, it's the work one that baffles me the most because you know there's so many disabled people want to work.
Yeah,
They want to work, but the environments that people are expected to be in are just not. They're not accessible. They're not suitable. So instead of this nonsense about obviously disabled people being the problem and not wanting to work and just want to sit on benefits and do nothing, like why are they not putting money into schemes, I think, to help people that make workplaces more accessible. Come up with, take a bit of initiative and be a bit more creative with job role types as well.
The thing that strikes me is that this could work out to be a win-win because there are so many people who've been so incredibly damaged by the system who quite rightfully say, fuck off, there's no way I'm going to apply for work because the last time I applied for work, I ended up with no money for 6 months. And somehow I was having to cobble my life together. It was an absolute mess. I couldn't pay my rent. Some people become homeless because they got a job and weren't able to do that job. And I think we should focus on the people who want to work, and there's plenty of them,
Yeah, there is.
and leave the rest of folk alone. Just leave them alone, and don't be arseholes about it. Um, so
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
it's like those
yeah,
it's like those stories that you hear, isn't it? Where like, there's people with like sort of like terminal illnesses or
yeah,
and they're like getting struck off, not getting their benefits, because they didn't go and apply for jobs and
yeah,
stick to the kind of the rules, and you're like, this person's dying,
yeah, yeah,
and you're expecting them to go and their last days to go and find a job, and it's
yeah. Sim,
it's crazy.
what are your thoughts?
We haven't mentioned this, and I know we've not got more time, but accessible housing is another big
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
And when I got this property,
Yeah,
so I rent a ground floor flat in the city centre. When I came to look around, it wasn't accessible. So the process is you go through your local authority, go to what is known as a disability facility grant, which will give you funding to then get the adaptations to make your property accessible. And that could
so who's applying for these grants? Is that you, or is that the local authority? Is that an
so
occupational therapist? Yeah.
yeah, so you'd get assigned an occupational
Okay,
therapist
cool.
who will then do all of that.
Oh, brilliant.
You automatically get accepted if you're on universal credit,
Okay.
or I think ESA as well, but I'm
All
not
right.
quite sure. And then it's the process of getting a surveyor to come around, look at what adaptations you need. It could be a wet room, it could be an accessible kitchen, it could be putting a stair lift, and then you have the process of getting 3 different quotes. The council then chooses, depending on the quotes.
I think Siobhan's sort of summing this up quite well. Are you losing the will to live?
Yeah, like what? So you moved into that property straight off the bat and not accessible at all. So what did you do? Like how?
I lived with my parents, so during all of this, by
Okay.
this is all during COVID as well. So, which made it 10 times worse.
They knew they were moving you into this property, so why would they not done all this work, saying, okay, well you need this, this, and this. We're going to sort that out.
Because
But
the
I don't
reason
understand why then it was your responsibility to organise all this. Like they should have had that done before you moving
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I agree. However, there are no accessible properties
That many?
ever. There are
None.
You literally there are, and each
That listen.
obviously-
That was an opportunity to say what the fuck, guys.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
it is like and so you've got to have the assessment and
But
the
but
waiting
then-
lists for these
but from the
assessments.
assessment, though, like it just
Pardon?
yeah, just like if you've had your assessment and then okay, there's a waiting list for a property, fine, but like surely when you're at that top of that list and you're saying, right, well we've got a property, but it needs some stuff done to it to make sure that you can access it and live in it safely.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then done the work and then moved you in. Like I don't understand why it's like it's not rocket science.
So obviously you didn't have to pay any rent when that was all going on.
Rent was being paid,
Good face, Siobhan. Good
council tax,
Oh my god.
gas, electricity,
It's worse.
water, broadband, were all being paid for about a year and a half before I moved in.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Um,
What the fuck?
council tax was probably I was paying full percentage of my council tax until they realised that I was on universal credit. Oh no,
Fantastic.
they couldn't give me a discount on my council tax until my property was adapted.
Oh my.
See, that doesn't have a what the fuck. That has a sorry, what?
That,
Yeah.
just, yeah.
So even though I had confirmation that I was going to get my property adapted, until the work was actually completed, they couldn't adjust my counter tax, and because of COVID, it delayed everything, basically.
So there's always this big push for people with
What would have
disabilities.
happened? What would have,
Yeah, sorry.
What would
Yeah.
have happened then? Like, if you were no longer able to live with your parents, what would have then happened at that point? Do you think?
I don't know. I have no idea. I probably would be made homeless, and I would probably have to be staying in a hotel, which
I've worked in Scotland with people who were decanted to flats where they could neither get in or out. So, you know, so literally prisoners in their own homes. So it's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
so we talk about work and employment, and that's really important. But if the government and local authorities want people with disabilities to be more independent and to kind of grow in their independence, they need to make schemes and processes like access to work, like the DFG, a lot simpler.
I just
The
honestly, when I think about
DFG is that the
Disability facility grant.
oh right, sorry, I was thinking about a cousin of
Yeah.
the Big Friendly Giant.
like
Yeah.
disabled people are not monsters. They're
Yeah.
just human beings like everyone else. Why? Uh,
Uh,
there shouldn't, there shouldn't have to be all these weird schemes and all these weird things. There should be society should be just accessible and safe and fair for everybody as human beings, regardless of what other additional needs and things you've got. Having that adaptation as an individual, great.
So that is the social model of disability, which I'm
Yes.
completely failing to get up. So,
Yes.
so I put the
Fun.
ugly law up instead. So, but yeah, the social model
Yeah.
of disability says people aren't disabled, society is.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2026.
Yeah, thank God we got here. Yeah, it's a medical marvel. Um, it's weird, isn't it? So, I
No. So yeah, and that's it. And was that actually something I'd seen the other day and
yeah,
I commented on. And I don't know if you've seen it was actually about ADP, so the adult disability payment in Scotland. And it was over 60,000 people apparently are getting it for anxiety disorders, sort of
right,
conditions.
right.
And it's just this seeing that constantly that disabled people are the problem. Oh, we're sitting on these benefits, they don't want to work and all that. And you're like, the problem is not disabled people, it's the society, it's the systems that are expected to fit into government and their stupid decisions is the problem. Not
We've
disability.
got 7 million people on waiting lists for treatment with the NHS. 7 million. A third of all people with disabilities, a third, are persistently on waiting lists, just constantly. So, how can you expect people to engage in that world with these weird restrictions? So, what are our thoughts on the ugly laws? Are we thinking they're a thing of the past? They're a throwback to a bygone age?
No, they're very much still full in force now.
Yeah.
I just
But
think
what?
people maybe don't. I think it is. It's like some things it's just not obvious, but when you actually
Yeah,
speak about it and you see it happening, you're like, oh shit, actually, that's not okay.
it is sort of. But for many of us, it's out of sight, out of
Yeah, a
mind.
lot of people
And
it's just a sort of blind eye, isn't it?
and if people aren't going out because they can't,
Yeah.
because they don't know what fucking time the district nurse is going to turn up, or they're confined to barracks because no matter how good their care agency is, you're still not able to go out to play. You know, if a friend phones you up and says, "Sim, cinema tonight, let's go." What would that look like?
I would have to go into the cinema website, check that it's Word accessible, find out how far it is, find out if I need to get a taxi or a bus or whatever.
And all
And
taxis are obviously wheelchair accessible, so thank God for that.
yeah, let's not go there. Let's not do that one
So,
tonight.
so is that kind of that? I'll take that as a quick no then.
Yeah, that's a yeah. That not all not all taxis are accessible. Now I'm lucky that I'm able to transfer into any taxi, and my chair is light enough to be able to go into any boot. But I don't. It's not the vehicles that I have an issue with. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
the attitude of the taxi drivers or the bus drivers or
Joe, it's just a few of us here. So what kind of attitudes have you encountered?
taxi drivers. Do I see that I'm in a wheelchair and drive off?
That's some attitude. What do you do?
Uh,
I mean, you've found their employers and go, um, I'd like one of your taxi drivers to attend a course on not being a wanker.
you've got no. I've got no evidence that that ever these situations ever happen.
Okay, right.
What else? Bus drivers refusing to get the ramp out so I can access the bus.
So,
Yeah.
why would you do that? I don't. Guys, help me understand. Why? You're a bus driver.
Understand.
You've got ramps. Why would you not let people?
Do they see it as an inconvenience that takes too much time? Like,
It is time. It is
Yeah.
time. They've got to be. They've.
yeah, they've got all their stops that they've got to be at certain times, and
And
yeah.
I mean, they'd be able to be on time if they just ignored all the fucking passengers, wouldn't they? They could just zip
Yeah,
round.
just kept
and
going,
go,
yeah.
look at me, guys, I'm on time.
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Or,
is so. It's not rocket science. None of this is rocket science. So, what do we need to do? Right, we've got 1 minute 30 seconds.
For me, the government need to have a wealth tax the rich.
Tax the rich. Bingo.
Tax the rich, use that money to, yeah, to get more disabled people into work that's actually suitable and accessible. Yeah, actually support people.
Actually support people.
Hmm.
Sim, tell us.
Employ more people on these teams so that the backlog of assessments, and whether it's with access to work or with social services or with the OTs, then you waiting lists go down,
Yeah.
people can get access, employment access, properties, and then the general public will finally realise that everybody are human beings.
I just
I,
I say this.
yeah.
Sorry, just finally, I say this. This is something that I say pretty much nearly every day, and I guess the whole part of why we're doing this. But living in lived experience is the best form of expertise that we
Yes.
actually have.
Yes.
And by
Yes.
not employing disabled people, different kind of ways of thinking and doing things, your companies, organizations, whatever it is, are missing out on so many
Yeah.
amazing and talented people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's exactly where I was going to go, Siobhan, is if you employ lived experienced people with a lived experience of this shit, they could sit next to the colleagues who are making these really weird decisions about places not being accessible and go, guys, what the fuck are you doing?
Hmm.
Um, so on that bombshell, we've run a minute and a half over. Nobody's going to arrest us. Uh, this has kind of been weirdly great fun. I've really enjoyed this, but fucking hell, guys. I've been Chris Young. Who have you been?
I've been Siobhan.
I've been Tim.
Brilliant to have you both. It's been an absolute delight talking to you tonight, and I'll say goodbye to our lovely listener. Thank you very much. Bye for now.